What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. Night number one of our week-long run-up to Squared Circle Pro Pieces for Quitters. I am your host, the Tutorial Boss Guapo, and with me, sitting in Squared Circle Pro HQ, is the man who decided Bobby Heenan had a brain, Rick Elsey.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's really great to be here. I'm super excited to talk about Pieces for Quitters.
Well, and I too am excited about it. It's going to be a hell of a show. And before we jump into it, I do have to say, BCW Draw the Line this past Saturday, amazing show. I can't wait for it.
Yes.
If you weren't there, you missed something. But I am here to tell you we will have a video out for that in the next couple of weeks so that you can see the wildness that it was. So big thank you to everybody that came out to that and to all the veterans. We got the opportunity to show our appreciation for that night. That being said, let's get into it. Squared Circle Pro Pieces for Quitters this Saturday night, Jake's Back Room.
Should be a really, really big event. Lots going on. There's a lot going on. We have announced 7 matches, I believe.
Yes.
So, okay. Let's just start off, and let's start off with one of the elephants in the room. Okay.
Okay.
Everybody probably saw the video that was released online. Baby Samoa went into 101 and trashed the place and beat up Brian Rivera. We should be hearing from Brian. He informed the office that he was going to be releasing a statement. I don't know what he's going to ask for. I don't know what he's going to say. I have my suspicions what he might be wanting, but as of right now, neither Brian Rivera nor Baby Samoa is scheduled for Pieces for Quitters. So,
and I know that was a question that it was on a lot of people's mind after not only seeing the attack at the school, but seeing the turn that Samoa made.
Baby Samoa is indefinitely suspended. That does not change. He is indefinitely suspended, and his attack on Brian at 101 did nothing to help his case.
No, not at all.
So, at this point right now, unless something severely changes between now and next Saturday, I don't know what Brian's going to do in his video response, but as of right now, as far as I'm concerned and as far as TJ is concerned, neither man will be on the show. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is, and I figured we're here, let's just talk about it.
Okay.
La Migra and Bloodlust. Now,
I got questions.
We've seen videos. Okay. I have not heard from Matthew Robles in over probably 2 weeks. The last I heard from him was a fax, because he's the kind of jackass that would send a fax. And basically, that fax was a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo, and didn't answer any questions at all. So
why doesn't that surprise me coming from Matthew Robles?
No. Now, I expect that we are going to hear from El Gringo Loco. And the reason I suspect we're going to hear from him is because I'm fairly certain that Diablo Blanco is mute. And Chris Watson probably can't form a complete sentence. So we'll probably hear from Gringo at some point. I don't know if they're going to have a match. I don't know if they're going to have a fight. I don't know what's going to go down, because I don't know what we can sign. Like I said, Robles controls a lot of that. So I don't know how we're going to get something if we're going to get something in the ring. The only thing that I can say for sure is that as of right now, all of those parties are scheduled to be in the building.
Well, so, I've got a little something I'd like to add to that.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that Gringo does give some sort of response to that promo? Because Wednesday night, right here on the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling podcast, I will have Bloodlust live on the show.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
interested
I'm
to
aware
see
of that.
what we get there.
You know, the fact that all of those people are in the building at the same time, that is kind of like a God help us moment. Um,
A big one.
so I don't, like I said, right now, nothing's official other than those personalities are scheduled to be in the building that day. But with that said, if you would like to talk about the announced card, we can now talk about the announced card.
No, absolutely. And one of the matches that I'm looking forward to personally, because my boys are in it, and that's the West Texas Tag Team Championship #1 contenders match, where you've got the Canadian Pitbulls versus our boys in Downfall Cathedral.
Yes. Now, this was originally announced as Los Crudos defending their newly won West Texas Tag Team Championship against the #1 contenders, the Canadian Pitbulls, who earned that spot at Birthiversary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Crudos, after the match was announced, decided on the advice of Nolan Phillips, which I had no idea that Nolan was involved with Los Crudos, but apparently he is. On advice of Nolan Phillips, they have declined to be at Pieces for Quitters. They're asking for a renegotiation of their contract now that they are title holders. And they are basically holding the title hostage until they can receive a better contract. So now I have our legal working, and I can tell you that regardless of what goes down with the legal departments and regardless of what contract is fixed or changed or altered, if they do not show up January 25th at Collision Course for the first card of the new year to defend, I will personally strip them of the tag team titles myself.
Damn man.
So this is their one. You get one.
Well, and this is, as much as I'd like to see Downfall Cathedral just kick the dog out of Los Crudos. Canadian Pitbulls are like Downfall's right here, Canadian Pitbulls right here, as far as my favorite tag teams in Squared Circle Pro. So this is a joy for me to get to see these two teams in the ring.
Well, the reason that we came to the conclusion, TJ and I, that we would make the match what it is, saying that it's a #1 contenders match is it's not really fair to the Pitbulls in that respect because they did already earn that.
Right.
So they really are kind of now putting their #1 contender slot on the line. So they've been given a little bit of leeway, and we heard in a promo that Elias Castaneda, or Nico Elias, as he calls himself, Nico Elias basically told us in no uncertain terms that Eric Angel is experiencing some medical issues and that he will not be part of the tag team at Pieces for Quitters.
Really?
I have received information that the third Canadian Pitbull will be in the match along with Nico Elias. Now, for those who don't know about the history of the Pitbulls, there is a third member of the Pitbulls named Romeo Falcone. And Romeo has not been part of the team here at S.C.P, but he has been a part of the team elsewhere that they travel around the country. With Eric Angel on the sidelines, I can confirm that Romeo Falcone's contract did come through the office, and he was approved, and he will be in the match. So that was a little bit of leeway that they got because we've kind of put them in a bad spot. So we gave them that leeway. But if Downfall Cathedral, who has been added to this because I personally think that Downfall throughout that whole tournament, they never took a bye. They wrestled every round. They busted their ass. And I feel like they got a really crappy deal in that final. And so for me,
one of the matches they had was against the Pitbulls.
Yeah. So I feel like they have history with the Pitbulls. And I think that if we have to forego a championship opportunity at this show, I'd much rather see this kind of match than not have anything at all.
No, and I agree wholeheartedly. I have not seen uh Romeo Falcone. I haven't had the opportunity to watch him wrestle. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And of course, Downfall Cathedral, our boys here at the podcast, always rooting for them. And there is some stuff on the line here, just like there is in the next match I want to talk to you about. Hair versus hair.
Yes.
JP Nitro with his wife, her hair on the line, versus JC Bravo and his hair on the line.
We've had several conversations about people letting their anger get the best of them at times. I feel like they set Tara up to just walk right into this. So what we have here now is, JP Nitro was the referee for the last match between Carnalis and the Camachos. And he pretty much goaded JC Bravo into getting himself disqualified. And so JC Bravo is very upset, demanded that JP Nitro fight him at Pieces for Quitters. Nitro wants JC to put his hair on the line. JC refused unless Tara put hers. And JP looked like he was ready to say no.
That's what I thought.
Tara grabbed that mic and she said, "Whatever you need." So
it's on.
I'm a little trepidatious about the fact that we might see a ball Tara at Pieces for Quitters. But I know that JC Bravo is the kind of sick individual that is looking forward to slowly and hatefully cutting off her hair. So
now let's play devil's advocate to that. How well known are the JC Bravo Rooster Tails? I mean,
yeah. It could be a vastly different JC Bravo when it's all said and done. But in order for that to happen, JP Nitro has to win his first singles match in almost 8 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it'd been that long.
He was a wrestler before he was a ref.
Right.
But he got hurt. It's been a long time.
Well, hopefully he's in the gym and, working a bag, getting it back.
It should be very interesting.
I'm going to have to throw this out here just because I know it sounds a little crazy. If I sound a little off, I am. Your boy's a little under the weather right now, but we're still going to make it through this. No problem. So if you hear me go quiet for a minute, then that's why.
Absolutely.
But I really am excited about this match because other than a few run-ins that didn't end real well for him, I might add, I've never got to see JP Nitro in the ring in any other role but that of a referee.
The one thing that I will give JP Nitro, he is what I would call a shooter.
Okay.
When JP was on his game, he was one of those guys that he could tie you up. But again, it's been a long time. And I'm not confident that we won't see someone's wife get their head shaved.
Man, I hope Tara knows what she's walked into. I really do.
This is what I'm saying.
However, we are going to see somebody bald at the end of that match. So
yes.
Our next one is a women's tag team challenge, a team that I haven't seen put together before, and that's Nova Phoenix and Angela Armstrong, both great singles competitors in their own rights.
Yes.
Going up against going up against a debuting Free Babes, that being Miranda Gordy and Holly Hood.
Yep, Hollywood Haley J. For those of you who may have Netflix, There is a documentary on Netflix called The Wrestlers that it revolves around Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is Al Snow's promotion.
Mhm.
And Hollywood Haley J is a huge piece of that entire documentary. I
Yes.
believe she's in every episode. And
Believe
so
you're right.
she also recently competed for the NWA, and she is the tag team partner of Miranda Gordy in the Fabulous Freebabes. And they are going to be, also Miranda Gordy was at Equal Rights and Lefts, so this is going to be her return to Squared Circle Pro. She's bringing her tag team partner with her, and they're facing Nova Phoenix and Angela Armstrong, both completely capable. Nova Phoenix is one of the pillars of the women's division here from the
Absolutely.
beginning. But I can tell you that I know for a fact, because I received some personal messages from Nova Phoenix. She's not very happy about this match. Her quote was, "I don't play well with others, and the office knows it."
I mean, she's not
So
wrong.
she is. I'm hopeful that they can keep it together, because I believe on paper this could be a show stealer,
Oh,
and I'm
absolutely.
really excited about it.
Yeah. Nova Phoenix not playing well with others. Like she made some magic happen with Skylar. Like
Yes.
that was great, but it's
Turns out it was a moment in time. It was a tiny
yeah,
moment in
exactly.
time,
It was a tiny moment in
because
time.
Skylar's gone. Skylar is currently with child. She's out,
Congrats to her.
and so maybe she was the calming influence behind Nova Phoenix, because she's gone, and now Nova Phoenix is just on a tear. So we'll see what happens.
Well, as big a name as Miranda Gordy is, as big a name as Hollywood Haley J is, I would be remiss to say that they have their work cut out for them because, like we said earlier, Nova Phoenix, Angela Armstrong, either by themselves, fierce competitors.
Yes.
Put them together, and it's a hell of a team.
Angela Armstrong earlier this year debuted against Misty Marks and took our champion to the limit.
Yes.
And then she had a match with Morgan Mercy. Didn't quite fare as well against Morgan Mercy, as far as Morgan beat her up pretty good.
Yes.
But it's one of those moments where she got up, she walked away, and that has to tell you that she's tough. And
She's
so
as tough as they
I
come.
really feel like if they can stay on the same page, this could easily be match of the night.
And I'm here for it, let me tell you. Let's stick with tag teams for a minute. We've got a tag team turmoil match. Certified wild card, that of course being Jeb Bingham and Draven Reeves, versus Kay Daver and Killian Crow, versus two members of the Gallery of the Damned versus two members of the Carnales World Order.
That is correct. This is an interesting match because we're seeing two things in this match that we haven't seen yet. We have yet to see Kay Daver and Killian Crow in a tag team situation. We've seen them in a multi-man tag, but not together.
Right.
So that should be interesting. Plus, this is the first match in a while for the Gallery of the Damned that has not involved Bobby Munoz, and has not involved the entire group. So it'll be interesting to see which two get picked. And remember, Lucas Scratch says that he has an infinite well of souls to pick from.
And it is him that gets to pick which two are going to be in that match. Like that's something that's left to him, right?
Yes. And the other interesting thing is this will be the first time in over a year that Emilio Guzman and Cesar Torres are back together as a duo in a tag match. They are former tag team champions.
They are.
So this is interesting here. This is also Jeb and Draven's first real opportunity this year to get in there and do something because they've been through it this year. Draven was hurt. Jeb was involved in a feud with Clayton Bloodstone. They're back together now and hopefully on the same page, and they've got a lot to prove. So there's four teams here that have a lot riding on this match. And of course, because it's a tag team turmoil match, once again, let's remind everybody the way that this is going to work is these teams have drawn the order of entry at random, and we're going to have teams 1 and 2 will face each other, and regardless of the outcome, whether it's pinfall, submission, countout, disqualification, or referee's discretion, whoever loses the fall, they will be replaced by the next team that drew number 3, so on and so forth until all four teams have competed.
Okay. And one thing about certified wild card, I like watching these guys wrestle. Of course, I've always been a fan of Jeb, watching his journey from last year to this year.
Very much so.
Draven Reeves, I agree wholeheartedly with his moniker of certified go-getter, but I have noticed a couple of times, and it seems to be a few chinks in that tag team armor, but they always seem to pull it back together. And that's one thing I really like about them is their ability to say, okay, we had this, but that's then, this is now. Let's get out there and do this.
Absolutely, yes.
So I have always liked that. And Kay Daver and Killian Crow, if you haven't seen them wrestle yet, you need to check them out. Go on YouTube, look them up. Look at the last couple of Squared Circle Pro shows.
Mm-hmm.
These two, even though we haven't had the opportunity to see them as a tag team, just the two of them, they are a force to be reckoned with.
I'm very excited about their participation here because this is yet another kind of, as we kind of enter into this era where intergender wrestling has become more acceptable. This is something that Squared Circle Pro has just very lightly started to dip our toe into that pool. And so this is going to be a real test to see how that works in an SCP ring.
I'm excited for it. Excuse me. The Gallery of the Damned, always something to watch because they've always got a plan. They've always got an ace in the sleeve. I mean,
it could be Tomas Silva. It could be JKM. It could be Alistair. It could be Ian Knight. It could be Colt. It could be Poison. It could be El Mero Mero. It could be people we don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he said that he has an infinite pool of souls to pull from.
And I believe it because it seems like every time the gallery shows up, there's somebody new with him. There's a new face that we haven't seen yet.
Yes. And that's an issue. That's an issue.
So as president of Squared Circle Pro, let me ask what it's like for you to have Caesar back in Squared Circle Pro and back with Emilio and JC Bravo.
Cesar Torres, I like him. Cesar Torres was always a fun guy. He lost a retirement match, mm-hmm. and he went away, and that was fine. We wished him well. I know that he has done some training at 101. Mm-hmm. He's on the staff there, but he never gave anybody the impression that he wanted to come back. And he just kind of showed up. And he's apparently back. We have a brand new, we have brand new medical on him. We have brand new blood tests. He's recontracted. And so, it should be interesting. But at the same time, it kind of goes back to the old wrestling adage that you're not really ever out until you die in the ring. So,
that's true. That's very true. Well, all four of these teams are going to be a lot of fun to watch, and this tag team turmoil, it's going to be something. I'm excited about that one. But our next match, Our next match is a rough one because I like both of these guys,
Yes.
and that is the Midnight Rider, who is going to have to start paying me more. He wants me to keep saying 15 minutes worth of intro for him. Just saying. Marquise Jackson versus the living proof Justin Taylor in a loser leaves town match.
Yes.
That's the part that hurts. I don't want to see either one of
Yeah.
these. So,
This again, when you let your anger and your ego get the best of you, sometimes you don't make the best decisions.
it's very true.
And in his defense, Justin has had these guys coming at him from every turn.
Mm-hmm.
They put him out for a couple of months, and he has just decided he's going to go for broke. And he has put his SCP contract on the line. And if he beats Marquise Jackson, it will be Marquise Jackson who's gone. If Justin Taylor loses this match, the living proof will no longer be part of Squared Circle Pro.
That's like, it's hard to imagine a world where Justin Taylor is not a part of Squared Circle Pro, but it is a very definite possibility. It is one of
Yes,
the
it is.
possible outcomes of this match.
It is. It is absolutely one of the possible outcomes.
Now, Marquise Jackson, Nate Collins, TJ Slater, they've put together a group called FJT. JT, of course, standing for Justin Taylor. I'll leave the F to the imagination. Hint, it doesn't mean French. I mean,
No, it does not.
but they have, excuse me, like you said, they've been at each other forever. All three members of that group have been at some point in time against Justin. Some of them have teamed. I think all of them have at one point or another teamed with Justin Taylor.
Yes.
So this is a lot more personal than just the match. It's the match on paper lets on.
Yes. It is very personal. It is a very personal match, and it has very high stakes. And I think that honestly, regardless of the outcome, I'm not sure that anybody in this match truly wins.
No, and I kind of agree with that because, like I prefaced this match with, I don't want to see either one of these guys go. So this is a hard one for me.
Yeah.
We will see it though, and we'll see it live Saturday night.
Yes, we will.
One of the big things about Pieces for Quitters has always been the Gauntlet Armageddon.
Yes.
Now, for those that this is their first time hearing about it, give our listeners a little breakdown as to what Gauntlet Armageddon is.
Okay. Gauntlet Armageddon is my love letter to the Royal Rumble. I love the idea of the timed entrances drawn at random. I've always enjoyed it. It's been one of my favorite events on the wrestling calendar ever since it debuted in 1988. And when I had the opportunity to pay tribute, I thought, how can we take it and make it different for West Texas? How can we do something to up the stakes a little bit and kind of make it our own? And I thought, well, West Texas loves nothing more than chaos. And the wrestling promotion in West Texas that has cornered the chaos area is S.C.P.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we did was we decided 30 men, come as you are, weapons legal. It's an extreme Royal Rumble that we call Gauntlet Armageddon.
Now, last Gauntlet Armageddon was the first time I got to see one, and it was crazy, is what it was. Like, people flying all over the place. There's kendo sticks. There's trash can lids. There's I can't even start to describe how crazy it is. And as crazy as all that sounds, this year it's a little different.
Yes.
It's not just a 30-man over the top rope elimination style rumble.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the differences for 2024.
Well, we have one giant difference this year, and that is for the first time since Gauntlet Armageddon debuted 7 years ago, we have added women to the match. It is officially intergender, and a good size of the field will be from the women's roster.
Which I think is going to be great. I mean, the women's division at Squared Circle Pro is second to none. So I'm happy to see them be a part of this. Now, talking about the 30 individual entrants, 14 of these have been announced. That is a far cry from 30, Rick.
That is. And never in the history of Gauntlet Armageddon have we been, what are we, 5 days out?
Yeah.
We've been 5 days out, and over half the field is still a mystery.
And I want to throw this out there just so you guys, if you guys are thinking, we're making it a mystery for all the. No, I don't know who they are. Like he's not even telling me. And so I know 14 of them.
I would like, okay, can I be very honest with you?
Please do.
I know of one name that hasn't been announced. And I'm prepared to give you that name. But there are still 15 names that have not been decided. So
I'll take it. Well, at least I've got half of them.
And I can tell you that before I give you the 15th, let's talk about the 14th. Okay. Morgan Mercy, Reggie Lincoln, Stevon Remsen, Bobby Munoz, Elsey Mox, Nate Collins, Raisa Clark, Sam Stackhouse, Clayton Bloodstone, Handro Zuma, Iluvio, Rob Boris, Brick Savage, and Nobi Bryant.
Wow.
And now, I am going to give you the 15th, but before I do so,
okay, this is the last before I do.
Those last two names.
Nobi Bryant, Brick Savage.
Nobi Bryant, Brick Savage. What happened between those two guys at Birthiversary?
Absolute carnage.
Yes. They will be entering the ring at numbers 1 and 2.
Well, I hope we have a ring for number 3 to make it into. Because these two guys are already crazy when they get in the ring together, but now Nobi's pissed.
Yeah. Yes. The 15th entry, just finalized today, is another one of the women's roster members, and that is making her second appearance at SCP after her debut at Birthiversary, Hilda Lamineka.
Hilda Lamineka, the dead doll, yes.
Yes. But that leaves 15 slots undecided.
Now you realize we're having a conversation about this after the show, right? You can 15 people.
I'm telling you, I have nothing to give you. I have nothing to give you.
We have Justin Holmes in the chat saying, ooh, mysterious.
Now, there is one additional announcement about the match. Doesn't have anything to do with who's in it. But that announcement is going to be made live on the pre-event at Pieces for Quitters. Myself and TJ Mundell will be making an additional change to the structure of Gauntlet Armageddon.
Are you put it in a cage?
No, we're not putting it in a cage. That would be, how would you eliminate anybody? How would you eliminate people?
We're throwing over the top of the cage.
No, we're not throwing people over the top of the cage. No.
That's the only way you're going to keep Nobi and Brick in the ring.
Well,
I'm just saying.
The object
didn't work last time.
The object is to toss your opponent over the top rope to the floor. So you don't really want to keep them in the ring. They're it's under their best it's in their best interest to try and toss each other over. Because remember, the winner of Gauntlet Armageddon will get the right to face the top champion of their respective division at Collision Course. If one of the women's roster wins, will be the women's champion that defends. If one of the men wins, it will be the SCP champion that defends.
Well, and I've got to ask about this because I'm picturing, like, I'm going back to Nobi and Brick, and I'm picturing it. So, what do you call it if they go through the ropes? Because there's a good chance there's not going to be ropes.
If they do not go over the top rope and their feet do not touch the floor, they are not eliminated from Gauntlet Armageddon.
It's going to be. I'm hoping there's still ropes there.
The only way to eliminate somebody from that match, they must be thrown over the top rope. Their both feet must touch the floor.
Okay.
That's why we will have no less than 4 referees at ringside, 1 on each side of the ring.
Okay. And if it's anything like it was last year, it's pure insanity. And I believe that I will be backing my table up some away from the ring because those first 2 entrants, I'm not about that life. I'm not going to be in the way of that.
Yes, if I were you, I would move myself to the cubby hole over on the side.
Yeah, I'm going to go sit on stage. Maybe in the DJ booth. I'm not sure yet.
I think we should actually move the tables away from the ring for that match because the odds of somebody coming over the top rope onto the tables is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think we need. I don't need anybody falling on the ring bell. So
yeah, that would hurt a lot.
That could be devastating. But yeah, Gauntlet Armageddon this year, intergender, and 15 slots to be determined.
You're killing me, Rick. Now we do have 2. You were talking about the winner of the match gets to take on the champion of their respective.
That's correct. The
division.
women's the SCP West Texas Women's Champion is currently Misty Marks, and the SCP Champion is currently Damo McCullough.
And both of those have the chance of changing at Pieces for Quitters, as we have championship matches for both belts. We have Misty Marks going up against. Sorry, I'm trying to fight off a cough.
The trophy case, Nikki Chase.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
You're okay. Nikki Chase and Misty Marks. This is Nikki's first championship opportunity. She is undefeated in her debut year at Squared Circle Pro.
And what a debut year it's been. Like, the fact that she's undefeated is impressive, but look at some of the wins she's got during that undefeated streak. So Misty's my girl. I've loved watching Misty be champion because same with her. You look at the people she's been up against, and every time she gets her back against the wall, she comes out swinging harder and faster and stronger. And it's a lot of fun to watch Misty wrestle as the champ. But she's gonna have her hands full with Nikki Chase.
Yes, and she will. And I'm really looking forward to this match because Misty has had a banner year. And there's no one on the SCP roster that has worked harder to achieve and overcome as Misty Marks. And the fact that she is facing someone who is undefeated, this is, in my mind, her biggest test because there is no footage that she can watch of Nikki Chase where Nikki Chase has lost.
Nope.
So finding a weakness cannot be easy.
Yeah, and of course, Misty always wanted to do her homework, always wanted to know her opponents. But I'm glad you brought that point up that, how do you find the weaknesses and how to defeat somebody that is undefeated? So this is going to be a really, really good match. It's going to be a test for both of these ladies. Like, no
100%.
question about it.
100%. Very much looking forward to this match.
No, it's going to be great. And then, of course, our Squared Circle Pro Championship match puts our champion Damo McCullough up against the American Tragedy Phoenix.
This is a match that Damo McCullough asked for. Phoenix is a former S.C.P champion.
Mm-hmm.
And these two guys, as far as if the record books, if I'm reflecting it correctly, between S.C.P and BCW, this will be the fourth in-ring encounter between these two.
I believe that's correct.
And Damo wanted this match out of respect. And Phoenix is itching to get back to a championship. And this match is the last match of the night. It will close the show. We will go into extra innings if we have to. But this match, I feel like, in lieu of whatever insanity happens between Lamigra and Bloodlust, I feel like this match has the potential to be the stiffest, most hard-hitting match that we've seen in a long time.
Well, and I've got to agree with that, and I'll tell you why. Neither one of these guys are going to hold back.
No.
Neither one of them is going to be, it's not going to be a calculated, if I do this, then it's going to be I'm going to whoop your ass or you're going to whoop mine, one or the other.
Look, Damo McCullough won the championship, and he has no plans to lose it. The man's carrying 3 championships right now. He just won the BCW Texas Championship.
He did Saturday night.
The man is a triple champion. He has the credentials and he has the constitution. Phoenix is a man who has everything to prove, and quite honestly, at this point, nothing to lose.
And the most dangerous man alive is the man with nothing to lose.
Exactly. That's why I'm telling you, the way this match has come together, the stars have aligned. This match might not be for the weak of the weak stomach.
No, I'm looking forward to this one for that reason. That it's not going to be let's do a test of strength kind of thing. It's going to be a fight. Excuse me. It's going to be a fight, and let's talk about Damo for a second. We're talking about him winning the BCW Texas Championship. He put a post out on social media today that I can't help but agree with. He said that Texas is the last territory, and he runs everything west of Fort Worth.
It's a great tagline, and it's a nice visual, and right now he's not lying.
No, he's not wrong.
So I mean, again, this match is Phoenix's to lose.
It's either way this goes. Excuse me. Whether Damo wins, whether Phoenix wins, this is going to be a hell of a match. And this match closing the show, I'm about it. Let's do it. The whole card, actually, everything we've put out there, I am waiting to see what Robles does as far as Bloodlust and Lamigra.
Well, I will tell you this. If by the time you have them on the show on Wednesday, I will make sure that I am in the chat room.
Okay.
And if I have not been able to announce, if we have not been able to announce as a company anything up to that moment, I will be present in case anything breaks so that I can at least add something to your conversation should anything happen, after the fact.
I am excited at the idea of Bloodlust going up against Lamigra. There's a couple of reasons. Anytime I can watch Chris Watson get his ass whooped, about that life. But B, like Damian said in his promo earlier today, since 2008, this has been going on. This is probably for me in West Texas independent wrestling one of the most storied rivalries there is. So
Yes.
I mean, Damien came back from retirement to say, I'm, I will come in and whoop your ass, and if
Yes.
I can't, then I'll leave forever.
Yes. Uh, I'm. It'll be interesting to see what is agreed to. But again, match or no match. Lilith, Damien, Gringo, Watson, Diablo. They're all scheduled to be there. And how how often at SCP have wrestlers with a grudge or an axe to grind taken it upon themselves to just start throwing hands?
More times than I
So
care to
I,
count.
I guess what I would say to people who may be anticipating some type of interaction between these two groups, I wouldn't bet against it.
You know, here's my concern, and it's something you touched on earlier. I know how hot headed Damien can be when it comes to Lamigra,
Yes.
and specifically how Lilith Blood feels about Gringo Loco.
Yes.
My concern is that we're going to get the way Matthew Robles is going to go about this is going to be something that he's kind of known for, and he's going to say, okay, if you want the match, it's this, and they're just going to be like, fine, let's go. And he's always got something written in. So Lilith, Damien, if you're watching, read everything carefully.
I agree. I tend to agree. Yes.
I would hate to see anger and you know anger and the want to fight get in the way of making sure everything looks good. So
Yes.
I'm gonna say that about does it for us tonight. We're coming up on that 8:50. Was it 8:53 right now? So I want to remind everybody: Squared Circle Pro Pieces for Quitters, Jake's Back Room, Lubbock, Texas, this Saturday night. $10 at the door, which is still insane to me. The amount of action you get. Look, the loser leaves town match between Marquise Jackson and Justin Taylor is worth $10 by itself.
Yes. But you're getting the fabulous Free Babes. You're getting Hair versus Hair. You're getting a loser leave town. You're getting the potential for chaos involving Bloodlust and Lamigra. You're getting a 30-person intergender hardcore Royal Rumble called Gauntlet Armageddon. And you're getting 2 championship matches for
For
$10.
$10. If you're in the Lubbock area and you're not taking advantage of this, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, I'm if you're a wrestling fan and you're not at this show for $10, I'm going to assume you eat crayons. It is what it is. No, seriously, all joking aside.
That shouldn't be funny, but it is.
All joking and stuff aside, I do hope to see everybody out there. If you enjoy wrestling and you haven't had the opportunity to experience West Texas independent wrestling, this is the perfect opportunity. And for $10, everything you're going to get for that, make your way to Jake's, get your tickets, and enjoy the show. Because I guarantee halfway through the show, you'll already be thinking about when can I get my tickets for the next one.
And you want to be there when the doors open at 5:30, because the first 30 minutes before we hit the opening bell, we are doing live interviews with wrestlers, talking about their matches. That went over really, really well at Birthiversary. Everybody loved it. We got a lot of positive feedback on it.
Ooh.
So from here on in, our pre-show is promos only.
Okay. Now it did go really well. It was enjoyable. Well,
Excited
Rick,
about it.
I want to thank you for being on the show tonight, running the card down with us. I look forward
Absolutely.
to maybe hearing more about who's going to be in the damn Gauntlet Armageddon.
Hey, if there's any additional announcements, I will pop into the chat. I know you're doing this all week on the ramp up.
Hey,
And once again, we at SCP appreciate the Not Your Average Mark podcast for doing that for us. A week long ramp up to the show, week of advertised matches, good stuff. If I have any changes to the card, anything last minute announced, I will be in your chat room as you go live, and I will update you as I can.
and it's appreciated. And as far as doing the week long ramp up, it's our pleasure. We love what Squared Circle Pro does for independent wrestling, same way we do what BCW does. It's home for us, and so it's absolutely our pleasure to do this. And Rick is absolutely correct in the fact that we will be doing this all week, 8 o'clock, 1 hour shows. We will be back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Be watching the socials, find out who the guest is. Again, Wednesday night, Bloodlust scheduled to be live on the show.
Yes,
So
that's
I'd love to see all of you tune in every night this week. But until then, I am Guapo. That's Rick Elsey. And we are not your average marks. Catch everybody tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm gonna drink it all away and find my head rush. I'm good with drowning out the pain inside my head.